It is official. Liverpool sign Thiago Alcantara for a fee rumored to be between 20 and 27 million pounds, depending upon which publication you read. It's one of the best deals in Premier League history. One of the best players to come and ply his trade in the Premier League. Thiago is a truly world-class, serial-winning midfield player who is going to add such a dimension to Liverpool Football Club. It is palpable. The prestige, the precision, the technique, the reading of the game, the ability, the experience that he brings to Liverpool is going to take Jurgen Klopp's team to the very next level. Chelsea fans, City fans, be very, very afraid of this Liverpool team now. They have just signed one of the best midfielders in the world. They've improved their team to the next levels, and they're also now looking at bringing in Diogo Jota as well. Liverpool have gone from looking like they're signing nobody to bringing in two players in the space of a short period of time that move them up a level. Liverpool, champions-elect again, in my opinion. Do me a big, big favor. Smash the like button. Hit the share button as well. Call in via the Skype lines that are now open. This is the final, the last ever fan phone-in show on the Football Terrace. Make sure you get yourselves involved. We're going to be here for the next 10, 15 minutes doing this. I want to hear from Liverpool fans. I want to hear from rival fans. Thiago is your boy. Jota could be next. What do the players bring to your team? First up, we have man like Stephen. What are you saying, bro?
Oh, just seeing that post of Thiago in a Liverpool shirt makes me really happy to see that. We haven't signed a certain player like that in ages, and it's so great to have that in our squad. And not only that, to hear reports of Diego Jota being linked to us now, who's an attacking forward, makes it even better. But if Paul Joyce says anything, that means it's pretty much my acceptance of it. We're interested in him. So overall, I'm so relieved and happy that we got Thiago over the line and potentially Jota too. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. Look, I've got a soft spot for Jota because I've met him. I've had conversations with him. A brilliant young man, a wonderfully talented football player who's done excellent in the Premier League, no doubt about it. He's killed it there. And then Thiago, I don't yield from my beliefs. When you were linked with him, I said he was brilliant. When he was linked with Man United, I was excited that there was a 1% chance we might sign him, right? And that made me excited because Thiago is that good. And right now, don't look beyond Liverpool are favourites. You will forget that. You're not even favourites. You've already won the league. Rivals, just give it up. Give the trophy to Liverpool right now. It's done. It's done.
Sorry, I'm going to say this to the rival fans as well because they've been chatting, a lot of crap about, if we wouldn't have signed Thiago, we would struggle. If we've got Thiago, I'm very confident now of what I was last season. If we get Jota in, that makes it even better because we've improved the backup lines as well. And also, I think we'll let go of Hoover, who's going to Wolves for about £10 million. He's a young centre back, but I'd be very all right with that because if it's sacrificing of getting an attacking forward but send off a good, promising defender, then I'm happy with that. And to rivals, they should be pretty, take a war of Liverpool this season again.
Listen, you should be massively fearful. Thank you, Stephen, for calling in. Hugely fearful. Liverpool were already favourites. They have just signed, like I say, Liverpool have just signed one of the best players in the world. He comes into the Premier League. Do you know what? We won't get into the debate. Pogba, KDB, Bruno, Thiago. Best four midfielders in the Premier League. Everyone's going to have between 1 and 4. I don't really care what your order is. Liverpool just gone and done that for £20+ million. They're already the best team in England. Jota on his way. Kante you'd throw into that mix as well. Absolutely. Sorry, my apologies. What a piece of business by Liverpool Football Club. Rivals. I know you're shook, especially City fans out there, because City might drop £80 million on a player, not in the same quality as a Thiago. Not in the same quality as a Thiago. City must feel gutted. Even with Pep's Paul, they're going to get Thiago. In fact, they haven't really signed anyone. They've signed Ake, right, and Torres. Like, the worst transfer window is so far is City with their money and pulling power. Next up, we got Nevin. Nevin, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What you saying, bro? Are you there, bro? Oh, he tried. He didn't speak. Listen, you can call in. I don't know where any of the Football Terrace crew are at the minute. What you guys saying? Call in. Skype lines are open. Make sure you're hitting like buttons, share buttons, retweet buttons, and all that jazz. He is in the squad for the Chelsea game, Terry. I just checked. Really? Chelsea fans, woo! This game is going to be on fire on Sunday. It's going to be on fire. Next up, we've got Ishan. Ishan, welcome back to the final episode on the Football Terrace for fans to phone in on. What you saying, bro?
Pussy.
Yes! At least he phoned up one last time on the Football Terrace and got himself in there. Well done, bro. This guy's even made videos of himself doing that. Last ever show on the Football Terrace. Next up, we've got Man Like Baz One. What you saying, bro?
Hey, can you hear me all?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, buddy.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm in the car. So, no, it just was, when I look at this signing, I mean, I had no doubt in my mind that this was going to happen. I think it gives Liverpool that new life that they look like they need. I mean, it's an experienced player, a player that's won at every level.
Yep.
And you kind of need to keep those guys that have this, in any sport, you need to get those guys that have that mentality to continue that mentality in your team. Because once you hear that same idea, the same voices constantly, I bet you Virgil van Dijk is very vocal in that dressing room, but sometimes you need that next guy to say the same thing.
Of course you do. You're absolutely right. And Thiago, he comes in as a winger. As a winner, he comes in as somebody that's achieved. He comes in as somebody who has delivered at the very highest level of the game. He comes into Liverpool. Salah, Mane, Van Dijk. No, Van Dijk and Salah. They're the only two players in that team that pound for pound are better than Thiago. He's already top 3, top 4 players at the club. He's a sensation. And if he plays against Chelsea on Sunday, Chelsea are done. Done for that game. Man like David joins us. David, what you saying, bro? Thiago is official.
First of all, he can't play against them. He can't play against us.
Oh, he can't. Okay, then drop that.
I don't think he can. I think he's got to go into lockdown for a bit because he obviously played internationally.
Okay.
However, we are in big trouble because if you've seen the injuries we've got, it's basically all our good players. So it looks like we're probably going to have Loftus-Cheek and Mount on wings again. So that's the first thing.
Is that confidence slowly dwindling away?
Frank basically came out and said Ziyech's not ready, Pulisic isn't ready, Thiago Silva's not ready. Anyone good not available. So yeah, and obviously our goalkeeper hasn't been confirmed either, so it's not looking good. But I'm still hopeful. But besides that, Thiago, again, I've said it, he's a good signing. My only thing is, one, they're going to have to change their system to fit him in because I don't see him being able to do running up and down the pitch, especially with his injury history. And two, who gets dropped?
Can I say something about that?
Yeah, go on, Baz.
And I do agree with you. They need to change the system a little bit, but I think they need to change their system anyways because you can't keep winning the same way and playing the same style and expecting to keep winning the same way every year. Like last year, they got their creativity was coming from their wings. But this year, they're now making the signing as a statement of saying, yeah, we can in some games we can beat you from the wings, but then in other games we're going to control the park in the middle, and he's going to be the conductor. So, I mean, this only makes them more dangerous because they could do it in different ways.
Mate, I agree with you on that. So I know Liverpool fans don't like there to be a negative catalyst to a change. But I do feel there's an element of Liverpool being found out towards the end of the season. This notion of Klopp told them to take their foot off the gas. No. This notion that they completely died and run out of steam. No. I just think that 2.5 years of playing pretty much the same way, teams kind of are working on ways of beating them. Now, you will still beat Liverpool 85% of the Premier League playing your normal way. However, that other 15% could theoretically take enough points off of you to stop you from being Premier League champions again. Thiago means you can change up your system. Thiago means you can play more through the middle because you've got creativity, guile, skill, and the technique levels have just gone up tenfold in that middle area. What this may mean, and this is where Liverpool fans have got, I'm pushing a narrative here for Liverpool fans, but you may see less creativity coming from the fullbacks because you might start playing more of your game through the middle. It'd be interesting to see the statistics of how many attacks come down the left and right as a percentage, and then how that differentiates, say, 10 games into this season with Thiago in your side. But Liverpool do need to change something in the same way, I will add, that when Liverpool had Van Dijk, they changed. They went from being a gun-ho team, 100 miles an hour, to being far more, not pragmatic, because that doesn't sound like they're not attacking, but I think they were more reserved. I think they took things easier. They ground out more results because they were more confident that they could absorb pressure because they had him in their team, and that made them European and Premier League champions. I'm so intrigued. If I take my rival hat off, I'm so intrigued to see how Liverpool are going to play. We're going to go to Stro in a minute. First up, we've got DSE UK. Says, respect as always for your honesty about rival business. As ever, always honest. Love your show. Hope you reach 1 million subs. Thank you, Tariq. I appreciate that. The Football Terrace won't reach 100 subs because this is our last ever live stream as the Football Terrace. Man like Stro is with us. Stro, what you saying, bro? It is official, brother.
Over the moon, man. Just literally roller coaster of emotions over the past couple of months. Is it going to happen? Then suddenly United looking to capitalise and stuff like that, and then yeah, finally get it over the line, and then obviously there's news of Diego Jota coming in as well. And listen, we've sat back as Liverpool fans, took the smoke from rival fans calling us broke and stuff like that, and now Liverpool finally come to the party with, for me, Thiago's a signing for the summer. This is a game changer, and rival fans can say what they want. This is an absolute game changer for us, and yeah, over the moon. Like I said yesterday, first time in my lifetime we've actually gone and got a world-class player already established as a world-class player. So yeah, over the moon.
Yeah, it's just interesting about that. I got into this argument with Liverpool fans recently, and they were telling me that we don't sign superstars, and I kind of disagreed. I felt like, but then I suppose the definition of a superstar, there's someone that's already achieved the highest level and is still in their prime. You're absolutely right that Liverpool don't. I don't remember Liverpool doing that. Everyone else you bought is on the cusp of becoming brilliant, and then is achieved later on down the line as an example. So I think you're absolutely right. It's a game changer for you. Liverpool were already favourites in my mind, but this now just accelerates that further because of the overarching quality of Liverpool. If you do keep Gini, which all signs sound good, and you bring in a Jota or a Sa, that for me just gives you everything you need. And interesting that you're now linked with Jota. Maybe the link to Sa for Man United is about to come true as well. Who knows? I doubt you're going to go for Jota and Sa. How much more confident are you now about retaining your Premier League title, Stro?
Yeah, for me, it all depended on if we fresh. Listen, now that we got Thiago, I'm very confident. I think we go into it as favourites. And I think now, when you heard Klopp a couple of months ago saying he wants to attack the title and not defend it, and we weren't making any signings, it didn't make any sense. Then Thiago comes through the door. Then obviously we get a backup left back, which is exactly what we need because we can stop putting Milner at left back. And then we add in, for example, a Jota. For me, we are the favourites, and now it's time for us to show why we're the favourites. And from what I am hearing, Terry, is in all signs are start to Manchester United. So, yeah.
Yeah, and mate,
expect that to
and
accelerate
do you know
massively
what I
over the next
find
couple of
really
days.
interesting? And it's based on everyone's I actually deleted all my tweets earlier on today just because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to waste the energy on it. I'm very angry at large elements of how my football club is run, boardroom level, especially, and have been for many years. But because of the psyche of Man United fans, we can't see the wood for the trees. Where with Liverpool fans, you look at this Thiago deal. Even if you've shaved £3 or £4 million off the asking price, you've done that. You've got him. There isn't not one Liverpool fan is saying, why didn't we get it done last week, though, for the Leeds game? Why didn't we get it done earlier? You're just like, we've got him now. We're happy, as an example. And this deal took like 8 weeks to get resolved, right? Yeah. Over the sake of £3, £4, £5 million of negotiations. And listen, the German press are saying you paid up. The English press are saying you got the price down. I don't care, really. It shouldn't matter so much to fans. But what I love about Liverpool supporters is you're all looking at it from the positive point of view. If Man United pulled off this deal, you would just hear, well, why did we make it take so long? Why did it take forever? You know, we ended up paying what they wanted in the first place. It's a disgrace. And Liverpool fans just got it right. It's about progressing the team and celebrating these brilliant, brilliant moments. It really is. And I do enjoy that. And look, on the Sarr thing to Man United, look, I want Sancho, and I'll be gutted if we don't get him. But if you give me right now Alex Telles and Sarr, and you add in Donny van der Beek, that's still a very good summer for me. That improves our squad. It gives us youth. It improves 3 positions and gives us more strength in depth. We go into the season confident, as an example, still with the possibility of picking up Jadon Sancho in future. But on Liverpool, because this is about them, I just can't look beyond Liverpool now being the double Premier League champions, retaining it. It's not just the strength in depth that he gives you. And if Jota comes in as well, it's the different style of play that you can now go out there and have to your game. It's going to drive rivals crazy. And I'm not sure if he can play on Sunday. I'm not sure if anything's been said. I haven't watched Sky Sports since this morning when I watched the Football Terrace Queen in Anita on there. But if he can play, he's going to destroy that Chelsea midfield at the weekend. And I think people are going to realize how good this boy is now that he's here. He's going to be, and do you know what's interesting as well? Liverpool fans are going to start, over the next 3 or 4 years, Liverpool fans are going to understand for the first time genuinely why Paul Scholes was the best in the Lampard-Scholes-Gerrard debate. You are going to see why when you watch Thiago play. And you're just going to go, I get it. Because sometimes it's the subtle things and everything that comes with it isn't statistical based. You're just going to see it and be like, I understand what you mean. It's gonna be like, you know, when Neo at the end of the Matrix just suddenly can see it. That's what's you're gonna go. That's why Paul Scholes was the best. You're gonna see it now because you've got your own version. I don't know, not as good in my. Well, we'll see how good he is in terms of what he's won. He's amazing. Played for a better country.
To be fair,
but there we go. Go on, mate.
No, I was going to say, to be fair, with that, because obviously I'm Manchester born and raised, for me, it's always been between Gerrard and Scholes.
Yeah.
And for me, I would always say Gerrard, but Paul Scholes was a generational midfielder and he was one of my favourite midfielders to ever watch. So I know exactly the thought process that you're going with, because now this would make Liverpool fans look at Paul Scholes in a completely different light, because Thiago is of that ilk.
Yeah, it's just when the Paul Scholes is the Thiagos, the sort of Zidane players. It's a little bit like you guys have got Firmino right now, who's not a prolific goal scorer. When people put their hands on their heart, Arsenal fans who watch Bergkamp, Man United fans that had the Eric Cantonas and even the Teddy Sheringham's of this world, and I'm not Teddy Sheringham is maybe a little bit is a level below them. There are certain players that you don't understand how they play until you see them in your team. And they're not always the prolific goal scorers, but they're integral to so much of what you do. And by the way, Eric Cantona was a good finisher, by the way, probably a better finisher than Firmino. But certain players do more for your team than just score and assist. By the way, that's why the elite of the elites do both of those things at the same time. But Thiago is going to add absolute levels. We've got Rack with us now, final caller of the show. Rack, what you saying, bro?
I'm cool, Terry. Yeah. Great news, man. Really, really happy with Thiago finally got it over the line. These things take time, but, you know, good things come to those who wait, man. So definitely world-class player. He's going to change the way we play and add an extra few strings to our bow. And yeah, I don't want to steal Monsters Lion, man, but pray for the rivals.
Listen,
at least I cited him,
bro, I'll be honest with you. I've said all along, and I know I get a lot of stick and a lot of abuse, and it's quite damaging for my mental health most of the time from Liverpool fans, especially that they go at me. But I've said all summer, I think you'll sign Thiago, and as and when you do, it's full steam ahead, Premier League title number 2, because you're already the best team, and you just elevate yourselves further. And Thiago Jota, I know one person. Big up yourself, Chatan, if you're watching. And that makes no, guys, what I used to do. You'll understand who I'm talking about, even though you don't know the person. Big up. He's going to be buzzing if Jota's really going to Liverpool. Trust me. Bonus. He's going to be like loving it, right? Those AUMs are going to be growing, isn't it, bro? Those assets under management. But he adds another element to your game, a massive element to your game. So I think it's going to be an interesting season. I think it's already geared up to be an emotional roller coaster for everybody. But there we go. Stro, my man. I know you have to go back to work, bro. I appreciate it in relation to that. So are you confident now, Rat? Because last year when I spoke to all you Liverpool man, and I was saying you're the favourites, you were like, no, don't put the pressure on us. Don't say that. No, we're not. We're going to try our best. Are you now, as Premier League champions, having brought in a backup left back, Thiago, and probably Jota or Sarr, are you now confident to push your chest out and say, we will retain our title?
So last year, I thought City would be favourites and City would win it. And I still thought we were the second best team. What I really didn't take into account was how vital Company was to City. And basically, when they lost Company, they lost not just a great defender, but a huge leader, a huge presence in the dressing room. This season, right now, I'm not worried about anybody. I feel like we're favourites. We should be favourites. I said this before on one of the other shows that we did. Could we? Yeah, okay. Could we still not win the league? Sure. There's other good teams out there.
Yeah.
And stranger things have happened. But right now, I put us favourites. And until someone else maybe does a madness, right? Then we'll see what happens. But,
yeah. Do you know what? I know a lot of focus is on Man United. Go on, David. Go on, bro.
I was going to say, for me, now they have to. There's no excuse anymore. You won, and now you've improved your squad with this. Yeah,
the expectation has to be you retain your title. I think what's interesting for me is what City do. I know that the focus is on Man United, and I understand why. We're the biggest team in the world. We sell more papers than City. We sell more papers in Manchester than City do, let alone globally. But how do I say this without trying to... People saying I'm being salty. It's all eyes on City now. City have got to respond to this confirmation of Thiago and the speculation of Jota. They have to. Even Koulibaly isn't enough, because I know they scored a lot of goals last year, but they're another year older. They had their 2 peak seasons. Last year they regressed. I don't see what they've done. And I know people will say, Laporte will be fit for the whole season. Will he, though? He gets injured a lot.
We'll see.
I don't feel like City have done enough to push themselves past Liverpool.
Would Griezmann be a crazy shout out for City right now?
Who?
I just thought of that right now. Antoine Griezmann. Because I know they don't really trust Jesus. I think Jesus is an amazing forward, by the way. But he's not a prolific forward that's going to get 30 goals a year.
No. I think you make a good point. I think what Man City are waiting for, I think from an attacking point of view, I think they're going to go for Haaland next summer when he's available for 50 million. And I think they will try again next year to bring in Lionel Messi. I think there's
City won't have problems scoring goals this year.
And they won't have problems scoring goals. They won't. But I'm just saying, but it wasn't just people I think it is an oversimplification to say that they lost all those games. 10 games, wasn't it? They lost 9-10 games they lost in the league alone. That they lost all those games simply because Laporte wasn't fit. I think that's an oversimplification. They still had a team that got 198 points respectively 2 years running, and they dropped to the mid to low 80s. That's a huge drop-off. That's the equivalent of Man United going from 66 points to like 49 points in one season. That's a catastrophic drop, right? So
yeah, it's probably a compound effect of a lot of things, right? Like Aguero, fantastic, brilliant, incredible player, but he's probably on the downward. There's a downward trajectory in his career now. Rather, he's not the Aguero of perhaps 2 years ago.
That's a great point. Fernandinho's passing, but it's funny here. A lot of people going, "What do you mean Haaland for 50 million?" Maybe you're new to the channel, bro. This is the reason that Man United didn't sign him. Wow. And this is what, do you know what this is? This is why football fans get so pulled into the banter era, because they don't know the facts. Haaland has active from the summer of 2021 onwards, has an active buyout clause in his Dortmund contract. He wouldn't sign for it. He wouldn't leave Salzburg for a club without it being there to have a £50 million buyout clause, a compulsory buyout clause, if £50 million is bid. So next summer, if City, Man United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Liverpool bid 50 million, Dortmund can do nothing to stop official conversations going on. That is why major clubs did not look at Haaland, but they walked away because they didn't want that buyout clause being there. I think that's what City are going to wait for. I think City are going to look at Haaland for another year. If he comes up trumps, I think it'll be. You're talking about a player that if he has another season like he just had and bangs in 40 odd goals, he's a £150 million player they can pick up for 50 million quid. That could end up being the greatest bit of business in transfer football history. It really could. Because goals are the highest commodity. But boys, I appreciate you all coming on. Thank you very, very much. Please smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen, tuning in. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all soon.